Good morning. On my stand today I've got my Webra Dynamix Carb, and this is a video I kind of wanted to make because I've made a few videos with this engine running with it, and I've been having some mechanical binding issues, it seems, but I also just thought it might be interesting for people to get a good look at this carb and talk about how it functions. So the issue I was having with it is that this arm was really in line with the bottom of the exhaust, and as you can see right now it's fully closing, but there are times when, depending on how you put pressure on it in this plane, it will open more or less depending on the plane you're in. So how I had it on the stand was that this was almost right beneath the exhaust, so I really couldn't put any kind of upward pressure on it at all. So I could only really do this, and this time it did actually close all the way, but as you can see, depending on whether I'm going up or down a little bit is whether it has the ability to close fully. So that's why I was getting some rather inconsistent results when I was doing this. Sometimes it would close all the way for idle, and sometimes it wouldn't. But anyway, besides that, I'm going to take this adapter off. Now, if this thing came with an adapter that fits into the bore of the engine case, why, I don't know if they designed it like that intentionally, and this carb is actually for a smaller Webra speed engine, maybe a 61. I don't know. I don't know if this is stock, because this has an O-ring on it. Like, this could just sit in a 60 size engine, but this is the adapter that was on it. I'm only taking it off really for no real reason. It's not going to show much of anything else. But as far as the parts of this carb go, and before I say anything more, I just, this Webra Speed 91 engine was new in box, but the way this plastic looks on this, it just doesn't look like this is a brand new carb. Now, the engine was new and unrun, but I'm just not entirely convinced that this carb was actually brand new, because the other thing is, I don't know, I've never had one of these from the factory or from the store, so I don't know if this screw here that's acting as the throttle arm is actually a 632 screw. So I don't know if they just allow you to select your own screw to put in here or what, but I can guarantee it, this portion here that it's screwed into was not probably standard thread, so this has been messed with. And again, these lock nuts, if you look at the exploded parts breakdown of this engine, or of the carb, they're not stock either. So I don't know, that's why I have concerns about the history of this carb. It does seem to work pretty well now, but that being said, that's kind of what it is. So this is it's a slide type carb, and I'm going to take this top cover piece off, because that'll allow you to kind of see a little bit more what's going on in here. Okay, I got the top piece off now. So as you can see, this is a slide type carb, and this slide just kind of can slide right on out of here now, as you can see. I'm just going to pull that out and put it aside for now. Wipe it down here real quick. So here's our high-speed needle. This is one of the spray bar. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it in here or not. Hopefully you can. There's a big opening in this spray bar here. So our fuel comes in here. It can get metered by this high-speed needle, and it's going to go through here, and it's going to come out that hole in the spray bar. Now, the way this actually operates is, this is a slide which opens and closes that. Here's I don't know the exact term for this, what they're calling this, but this is yet another, it's a part that slides through that spray bar. And if you can see here, it's got a groove all the way in it with a hole. So what happens is, it goes through that other spray bar, and that groove and these holes, and that hole align with this hole in here. So see here how that hole and the groove and then the hole in this spray bar was basically right here in the center. So that's how it meters the fuel. Yeah, turning clockwise actually richens this mixture because it's pushing it. Turning it clockwise richens the mixture because as you rotate this, it moves this slide further down here, and this spray bar is screwed in place and held in place by this clamp here. So it's forcing it to go in more, which is going to richen the low speed mixture. Likewise, if you open it and allow this thing to slide out more, then it's leaning that. Now it's got this little, this is where my problem was, is this little mechanism here, this little L-shaped lever. So you can see how sometimes it gets hung up, and then if I lift up on it, it'll close all the way. This is where I'm having that issue. But I mean, aside from that, this carb is really not difficult to tune or set up. It's pretty much the same as any other one. It's just you have to remember, knowing how the interaction of the venturi and the slide bar operate is the key, and the only thing to really remember is that it's like an air bleed carbon, that clockwise actually richens it, whereas counterclockwise leans it, as opposed to on a twin needle carb. So that's been kind of a little bit of a discussion on the Webra Dynamix carb. Pretty decent carb. A lot of people really love them. You know, I haven't had a problem running it. So, but I think the next runs of this Webra engine will probably be with a Super Tiger 90 carb on it.